How's everybody doing in the back? You hear me okay? Hi. You guys all saw the safety video, yeah? Alright, good. Also, just so you guys know, there are a few times during the flight where you guys might notice me like pause in mid-sentence or get a little quiet. If that happens, don't worry, nothing's wrong. I'm just communicating quite a bit. As you can imagine, Maui's a popular place to go flying around, especially when the weather is this nice. So just bear with me. I'll get back to you as soon as I can if that happens. Also, I have to be just with air traffic control within a few miles of the runways here. So like the first and last few minutes of the flight, I'll be with ATC only. And that's about it. You guys ready to get in the air? Alright, well, I'll be back on the intercom with you in a few minutes. Until then, just enjoy the ride.
Anything was possible. Hit cruise control and rub my eyes. The last 3 days and the rain was unstoppable. It was always cold, no sunshine. Yeah, running down a dream that never would come to me. Working on a mystery. I grew dark. I put the pedal down to make some time. There's something good waiting down this road. I'm picking up whatever is mine. I'm running down a dream that never would come to me. Working on a mystery, going wherever it leads.
How's everybody doing so far? Good. Well, we got lovely weather for a flight out to Molokai. We'll fly through some of the West Maui Mountains as well. They call this off our left side the West Maui Mountains because it looks like a mountain range, but it's a volcano, just like all of Hawaii. It's really old, so rain and erosion wrinkled it up, created these valleys and canyons. Volcanoes, just like us, we get old, we get wrinkles, so do volcanoes. They're valleys and canyons are their wrinkles. Been over 1 million years since Mauna Kahalivai, this volcano has had an eruption. Look at some of these mountain passes that we fly through. You can see it's all wind blown up here. Like down in the bottom of the valley, we get lots of thick Hawaiian forest, rainforest. Up on these plateaus, though, it's all wind blown. Today is pretty nice, but a lot of times we get 50-mile-an-hour winds that blow through these passes. Down in the bottom of the valley is protected from that wind, so the trees can get a lot taller. If you look down there too, you'll notice they're very narrow. The bases of these valleys are basically riverbeds. Any heavy rain shower will wash out any trail or road you could build. There's also a gain of elevation of over 3,000 feet from the front of the valleys to the back of the valleys. So the river itself just gets too steep to climb up. Even though there's lots of hotels and houses around the coastline, most of West Maui is inaccessible because of all this rugged terrain down there. Look down towards this coastline off of our left side. You can see Kaanapali out in the distance. Kapalua's in front of us. Real built up, that coastline, because if you look above us, you see how the clouds break up right here, so it's real sunny over there. If you look off our right side, where it's a little overcast, or partially, there's not as much going on. And before the 1800s, it was the complete opposite. Like if you lived in Hawaii, like you're a Hawaiian, you'd live by the rivers, where the rivers met the ocean. That's where you'd, that's the only places you could really survive in Maui back before the 1800s. But they have canals that go into the aquifers throughout West Maui and get piped out to the populated areas or the drier areas now. So everything's kind of opposite than it used to be. Now we're going to leave Maui now. We'll go across the Pailolo Channel. You can see Molokai out in the distance. That's where we're headed. We got 10 miles of water between the two islands, so it'll take us less than 5 minutes to get across that channel.
working against me. And gravity wants to bring me down. Oh, I'll never know what makes this man with all the love that his heart can stand. Dream of ways to throw it all away. Whoa, whoa. Gravity is working against me. And gravity wants to bring me down.
We get closer to Molokai, you guys are going to see a sparsely populated island. Not too many people live on Molokai. They only have 7,000 residents. Back on Maui, we get 150,000 residents, and there's more visitors and residents year round. And it's no accident, they just have a lot of restrictions on the development of the land. They're trying to keep the island more locally owned. Back on Maui, all the hotels and resorts, they're owned by off-island companies from around the world, so most of the revenue disappears. So Molokai, they're keeping it local, so you won't have fancy places, but there's bed and breakfasts, smaller places you could stay at. It's like going back in time, like old Hawaii when you live in Molokai.
Oh, twice as much ain't twice as good, and can't sustain like one half could. It's wanting more, it's gonna send me to my knees. Whoa, whoa. Gravity.
We look just in front of Molokai too, like right at our 12 o'clock, you guys could see Turtle Rock. That's the rock island. Looks like a sea turtle from the side, but that's a famous scuba diving site for hammerhead sharks. People will take boats across this rough channel all the way out here to swim with hammerhead sharks. No cages or anything. Free diving with sharks. That's not the natural shape of that rock island either. That rock island was used by the military back in World War II for target practice. It's actually been blown up a few times. Now it looks like a sea turtle from the side, but famous for its scuba diving.
Come on, keep me where the light is. Come on, keep me where the light is.
This first part of the island that you guys can see here in front of us is a big cattle ranch. Murphy's Ranch takes up thousands of acres out here in the corner of the island. So most people don't think of cowboys or cattle ranches and they think of Hawaii, but a lot of them out here because we get the year-round rain, warm temperatures, so grass grows continuously. It's like free food for the cows. You get a lot of grass-fed beef in Hawaii. So the Paniolo, the Hawaiian cowboy, is like a big part of the local culture in Hawaii. Lots of places to ride horses, like rodeos on all the islands. Just past this cattle ranch is the Halava Valley, and that's where this highway, or this road, you can call it, down below us, dead ends. That's the coastal highway of Molokai. You can't drive all the way around Molokai because we've got the world's tallest sea cliffs on the North Shore. The Halava Valley is going to come into view here in just a second off of our right side. It's where they found the oldest Polynesian artifacts in all of Hawaii, dating back to 700 AD. You're going to notice the valleys over here on Molokai, they're different than on Maui. They're deep and wide out here because this is an older volcano, so more erosion has taken place. So the valleys are so big that you could live in them. You could live right by the river. And that's why they think Molokai was probably the first island like permanently settled by the Polynesians. Also, the island of Molokai is the farthest back they trace the hula dance to, which is a very old part of the Hawaiian culture as well. So, very possible this was the first Hawaiian island settled by human beings. Just in front of us is the world's tallest sea cliffs. Molokai is one of the smaller islands, but we got the tallest and steepest cliffs on the planet. Geologists say it's because of an earthquake. They think a massive earthquake hit this island a long time ago and it dropped a third of the island off into the ocean. So hopefully that doesn't happen again, but whatever caused it, we got big cliffs. This is a 2,000 foot drop off below us. Back of this next valley is Papala'ua Falls. This waterfall back here is a 1,400 foot waterfall. That's the size of the Empire State Building, this waterfall. So we'll do a little turn out here by the shoreline so you can get a view of the whole waterfall, and then we'll come in for a close-up here in just a minute. up here off our left side, you'll see the Wailau Valley. There's several people that live in this valley. There's no electricity or roads or anything. The only way in and out of this valley is by boat or helicopter. Some people don't have either one. So they get some supplies dropped off from them, from their neighbors, or they just hunt, farm, and fish in there in that valley. And if you look further down the coastline, just past those little rock islands, you can see the Kalapapa Peninsula. You'll see how the land stretches out into the ocean out there. That's where the old leprosy colony was in the past. Leprosy was once criminalized in Hawaii. If you had leprosy on any of the islands, you'd be quarantined out there. It was like a jail. But they found a cure for leprosy eventually. Now that peninsula is a historic national park and a rainforest preserve that goes up into the mountains. So we've come a long way. Side is the Pele Kunu Valley. This is where some of our most pristine native rainforest, healthiest rainforest in all of Hawaii is located. Nobody lives in this valley. It's uninhabited.
Sleeplessly embracing butterflies and needles line my seamed up joint. Encased in case I need it. In my stomach, on my heart, chainmail, hunger of the pine. Hunger of the pine. Sleeplessly embracing yon yearning to me, plenty more days in the sea, and so you finally use it. Bedding with me, you see at night your heart wears night armor, hunger of the pine.
These canyon walls, you're seeing Ohiele hua trees and Hawaiian ferns. Some of the taller Hawaiian ferns can grow over 20 feet tall and live for over 1,000 years, be 1,000 years old. The trees that look kind of like cauliflower at the lower elevations, those are kukui nut trees. It's the state tree of Hawaii. Guys, look out in front of us, you'll see the old crater of the volcano. This is what all the volcanic craters look like eventually. Over time, rain and erosion will wash out the lava rock, replace it with rainforest. All your volcanic craters eventually get turned into these big, massive valleys full of trees.
Sleeplessly
If you look at the canyon walls, you can see the signs of erosion too. It's like a continuous process. Hasn't rained for about a week over here, but when it does rain, sometimes it pours. You could have landslides in the valleys. Every time it rains like that, the valleys get a little bit bigger and the island gets a little bit smaller as those landslides. That river sediment eventually ends up out in the ocean. Down below us, you'll see the largest coral reef in all of Hawaii. In some areas down there, you can walk a mile offshore, only 1 to 2 feet deep out there at the edge of that coral reef where those waves are breaking. Also, it goes 25 miles long along the coastline. So technically, it's the largest coral reef in the United States. Across this channel again, you can see some other islands out there off our right side. The one like directly off our right is the island of Lanai, and the one out in the distance is Kaho'olawe. And with Molokai behind us and Maui in front of us, that's the 4 islands of Maui County. Geologists think it was all one island a long time ago. If they were still connected, they'd be about the size of the big island. But once the volcanoes stop erupting, slowly they sink down into the ocean. According to the geologists, this is a sunken island. Hawaiians say the opposite. They say instead that none of the islands are here to start, and then this kid was fishing with the magic fishing line, caught the island of Maui, which was underwater, and he was pulling it up out of the water when the line broke and left the island partially submerged. So geologists say Maui sunk, they call it Maui County. Hawaiians call it Maui Nui. It means Big Maui, and they say it never came out all the way. So either way, it's completely up to you guys.
inside of one road town. Take me back, take me back, take me back, take me back to you. Sometimes I think about life was so simple back then. We'd run around, no shoes, just some cane field blues. No thought to what was round the bend. Sheets filled with sand and secrets in the band. And sometimes I wonder if it's all a dream. Another green flash playing tricks on me. But I know deep inside I'm still alive. Let me take you back and you'll see. Remember getting lost and found your whole world inside of one road town. Set your mind at ease through the tropical breeze and Uncle playing slacky. We used to spend all day at the beach, shore break fishing and sunburned cheeks. Take me back, take me back, take me back, take me back to you. You know that I try not to live in the past, but when my mind starts to run, then it sure runs fast. Clear skies and that green, green grass in the valley of the kings on that old rope swing. And if you climb up in the tallest tree and get a quick glimpse of what the day might be, then you'll know deep inside it's still alive. So whenever you're lost at sea, remember getting lost and found your whole world inside of one road town. Set your mind at ease through the tropical breeze and Uncle playing slacky. We used to spend all day at the beach, shore break fishing and sunburned cheeks. Take me back, take me back, take me back, take me back to you. Oh no, take me back, take me back, take me back, take me back to you.
If you look on my right side, you guys can see this big golf course over here. They're kind of working on it, patching it up, you could say. That's the Kapalua Plantation course, that golf course, part of the PGA Tour, so real famous. But they call it the Plantation course because it's built on an old pineapple plantation. These are all old pineapple fields off our right side. They used to grow pineapples all over Maui and ship them all over the world. But now there's just a few fields left for the island.
Set your mind at ease through the tropical breeze and Uncle playing slacky. We used to spend all day at the beach, shore break fishing and sunburned cheeks. Take me back, take me back, take me back, take me back to you. Oh no, take me back, take me back, take me back, take me back to you. Oh, take me back to you.
Down below us, you'll see all this red rock down here. There's some high iron levels. Iron will rust over time, turn red like this. RC cliffs are not as big as they are in Molokai, but they're more colorful and they're more accessible. This is the Kahakili Highway. Highway 340 is the number for it. Takes you like right along this coastline. You're gonna hike down the blowholes. You'll see a bunch of cars parked alongside the road down here off our left. There's underwater caves that can compress with water pressure, and the waves in, and water will shoot up through the cracks in the lava rock. look at this coastline too. You'll see all these little caves down by this water line. That's how these cliffs are formed. Like over on Molokai, they believe an earthquake caused the cliffs. That's why it's that long straight line of cliffs. Out here, it's just the deep water. The ocean's deep. It'll eat away at the island, create caves. It'll cave in, and big sections of cliff will fall off into the sea. We work our way back towards Kahului, you're going to see the water get more shallow. When you have shallow water, the sunlight gets down to the bottom of the ocean, we'll get those coral reefs. So you can take a look at those reefs as we make our way back in. Sometimes we'll see sea turtles and manta rays this time of day. Nice view of Haleakala too as we come in. All the clouds will part from Haleakala this time of day, most days. And I will be with air traffic control now until we land. Before we do land, I do want to thank you guys for coming out and flying with me. I don't get to go flying without you guys. They don't let me out by myself. So thanks for getting in here so we can all get up in the air. And then once we land, just sit tight, wait for the rotor blades to come to a complete stop. We'll be shutting down the helicopter once all the parts are stopped moving, and we'll all get out together. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks a lot.
Creatures of my dreams raise up and dance with me. Now and forever, I'm your
thanks again, guys, for coming out and flying with me. Just sit tight. It'll just take a second. These rotor blades will stop turning here, and you can take off your headsets and seatbelts while we wait if you want.